y'all. Hey, hope all is well with you. I am Leslie of LesAnn Creations, coming to you from my workroom. Hooty-hoo! So, if you don't know who I am and what I do, I create plus size fashion. But the main thing that I do is I love to play with fabric. And so, we're going to play with fabric. Today, we are going through... the one thing I've been working on lately is beginning to recreate clothes for my own wardrobe. I haven't made a lot of clothes for myself in this past couple years. I would make an outfit here or there, but nothing whereas it's a overhaul. So in the process, because I have a lot of remnant pieces and just enough to make something for me or something for a grandkid or something like that. So I am taking y'all on the journey with me. I'm trying to make sure when I do something, when I'm getting ready to create something, that I go on and hit that record button. It sometimes is very difficult for me because I randomly sew, like random. I pretty much sew every day. I have been sewing for over 30 years. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not even gonna lie, because sometimes I be not pulling out my patterns and be winging it. When you really want to make something, don't wing it. Don't wing it. So before I get started, I'm gonna finish what I was doing. So I have this bag full of patterns, and there's more patterns underneath. I didn't realize I had this many patterns not put up, and because I don't have them put up, some of the designs I've been wanting to make, I haven't made them because they've been in this little bag. I am looking for something in particular, but it'll probably take me too long to find it. Most of my patterns that I draft or pattern out some kind of way, I do not always put directions on them. That's why I'm supposed to put them back in their respective places, but that doesn't always happen.
Alright, y'all, before I could get started on this new project, I had to clean up. Yes, I know that I'm just putting those pattern pieces back in that bag, but it's better that they're still in a place that I know where they are, instead of sticking them in the drawer where all my patterns are and then have to reorganize yet again. I know it sounds crazy. So I'm just putting things back, most things back where they belong. Those that are in the envelopes, pattern pieces that are in the envelopes, they will probably end up in the drawer. But any of the loose patterns, I just put them in the bags. But I needed my whole table cleaned off in order to do any work. You will notice that at some point I will clip some magnets. It's little black squares onto the table. My tabletop, most of it is magnetic or metal. So that's one thing I love. If I don't happen to have enough pins, I can use my magnets to keep my fabric from shifting and moving, because those are cutting boards on top as well. So I could use a rotary cutter.
sorry about that. Just when I'm ready to start, I just go ahead and start the video so I don't forget. But I know y'all don't necessarily want to see me organize my room. I know it looks crazy with this panel across my mannequins, but I was taking some pictures of some of my fabrics. Hopefully that I'll be able to get done this in the next couple weeks. A couple of night shirts and everything. I know this looks really weird. Right now I'm using some saran wrap. And it's the one I had in my kitchen, but the box it was in, it did not, it tore. And so because it tore, it made it difficult for me to tear the saran wrap off. I said, well, how can I use it and not let it go to waste? So I actually scored it, and I have some like individual ones already in the house that I can use, but this is easier because it's bigger and I can have a better grip on it. So for any of the ones that I roll up or whatever, it works perfect for. Okay, this is just going to sit over here because it won't fit up there right now. So, the first thing I am going to, I don't know why this got down in the closet. Y'all, I'm going to tell you, it's a disaster not on camera. That's why I position the camera where I do, because there's stuff everywhere. Anyway, the first thing I am going to cut out, and this one is literally probably one of the easiest things you can kind of do. I like pencil skirts, but I usually do my pencil skirts about 26 inches long. And let's see if I can find my actual pattern that I use for myself. But it's 26 inches long, which is not the normal length. I do my skirts that long because I do it that long because when I sit down, it gives me room for when I stand up, and I don't have to worry about anything where I had to cover my knees or something like that. So usually I do it 26 inches long. And then I usually have several patterns in one envelope. I do sometimes use commercial patterns when I'm making it for myself occasionally, but not often, because I usually have to do way too many adjustments to the pattern for it to fit me, which for me is very annoying. So I usually don't do that to myself. So I usually try to use one of my patterns that I have, that I've created and finessed and fixed for myself. I think this is the one. Yep, this is mine. And usually for me, what is my front and back panels are pretty much the same. I do a slight modification, but not much for the pattern. This one may be a little bit longer because my goal also too, when it comes to me doing these garments, I'm trying to utilize as much of the fabric as possible so that I have a minuscule amount of, um, of fabric left. So this pattern actually measures to 30 inches, which would be almost a T-length on me, I think. Let me look in the mirror, y'all. Hold on. I'll tell you where. Yeah, not T-length, but below my calf. That's not it. So usually, like I said, 26 inches is usually the length I like. So what I'll probably end up doing with this is, because I'll have leftover, I'll probably end up doing like a band on something. I'll use part of it as a band, but I'm not going to waste. I'm going to try not to waste. So this is a very stretchy fabric. It's a polyester. I can't tell you which brand it is, whether it's a Ponte knit or something like that. I can't. I don't know. I don't know. I do double check the hip measurement to make sure it's wide enough for me, because it tells me it's 53, but I don't know that's the measurement I usually use. I have to add something to it. And I'm probably going to do this at, because usually it's about an inch hem, and then I'm going to make it where the top has a band on it, because I like a band on my skirts a little bit better versus doing a straight turn down with elastic, because it just looks better. Okay, I'll go down to 28, because I'm going to add an inch at the top. being this fabric is directional, I'm going to probably try to, non-directional, I'm going to try to get my second piece by flipping it upside down, because it's a little bit smaller right here, but it's larger up at the top or at this other end. And that way I can utilize more of the fabric better. A little bit. This fabric does have great stretch, so I'm not necessarily worried about it not fitting, because it will. But I still have to be conscious of how I lay it out. We're not going to have a whole lot of leftover, which is good. I will have to do a little bit more trimming down at the bottom. I usually don't trim until I am about ready. Because sometimes, depending on how I want the fit of the fabric, I don't trim down my bottom part or my hem part or the lower part of my pencil skirt. I don't touch it until literally when I am fitting it on my body, because I want to make sure I get it right. Because certain fabrics, you want it to fit a certain way, because you got to have that give and ease in it. Sometimes you don't need it, and sometimes you do need it. Now I'm using my scissors. I'm dropping about 1 inch below. That's it for that. May not need any of this or have any left over. Once I'm done, not a lot. So And that's all I did for the band. I'm not worried about the length of it because I'll adjust it for the skirt. And because it has some stretch in it, I may not even use elastic to actually do this because the stretch for this is if they'll let me do it. It's like a 40% stretch, just under about a 40% stretch, and that's actually a good stretch. So if I actually take and reduce the distance or the width and do it as if it's one way you can do it to avoid putting elastic in here, what you would do is I need y'all closer, but I'm gonna try to show you as best I can. What you do is, if the fabric allows, you can put a piece of elastic in there just to have a little bit of a stabilizer, but you don't have to do a wide piece. You can do one of the thin pieces, like a half an inch, just to have some in there, but you're not doing it for the security elastic mostly does. You're using this as your elastic. I guess that's the best way to say it. But you would actually you wouldn't cut it straight up and down. You wouldn't do a straight cut. You would actually, this is going to be folded over. You would literally take and do, what's it, a isosceles triangle? I believe, no, it's not isosceles. It's a pentagram. I think that's what it is. I remember the actual form and probably drop a picture of it so you can kind of see. But you would actually, instead of going straight, you were actually using this as the fold side. This is the fold, which would be the very top of your waistband. You would actually turn and do it in this direction, so that when you sew it together, so it's on a fold. So you basically taken out a triangle notch out of both sides of the waistband. And when you put it together and you sew it, it basically shortens the distance from the top at the top and leaves the bottom a little bit wider so that it can connect to your waist portion of your skirt better. You don't want to go too small, but you would make it a little bit smaller at the top so that it gives a little bit more cinchness, but you don't have to worry about if the elastic is not tight enough. It's kind of, you give another security in it. You'll see what I mean. I'm gonna actually do it. Let me do it right now. Do my waist measurement as is, and then I do it the same length or the width of my hip, and then you reduce it from there. I hope that makes sense. But you don't want to go too far, because you got to make sure that the distance you make it can go around your hips. That's the only downfall for me. I had to be very careful, because let's just say sometimes stuff don't go around my waist. I may have to do a regular band. Dang it, I don't want to. That's all right. We'll work it out. This is me squirreling. I'll stop squirreling right now. So that piece is cut. So my skirt is cut. I have this remainder of fabric left over. I'm not gonna throw it away just yet. If I can, I may use a portion as cuffs on a shirt. I can use this cuffs on a shirt. And if I do that, then it's just going to look different from, I'll pair it with the skirt most likely. Maybe not. I don't know. All right.
Thank you for watching. I'm going to go ahead and end right here. I'm getting ready to work on another project that I did not film the entire thing. So I apologize, but make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so you can see me as I go on my journey of making clothes. Y'all have a good one. LesAnn out.